It's a small group, but it's a dedicated group. And I have not missed one of these community gatherings since they started. And most of the faces I see here tonight have been right here every step of the way. So it is appreciated. And like Gail said, a lot of positive things have happened. They might not happen as quickly as we would like all would like for them to happen, but we are listening and we do hear what you're saying. And we're working hard to move in that direction. And I think we've made some great strides in that. Maria is making even more strides in that direction. And some of those we'll talk about a little bit more in just a few minutes. One of the first things I want to talk about tonight, though, is through a grant that was sponsored and championed by Josh Taylor, the Executive Director of the Allegheny Highlands Chamber of Commerce and Tourism. The town of Clifton Forge was awarded 2 electric vehicle charging stations. It was decided that one would be placed at Town Hall and one would be placed at the Loop Street parking lot, which you'll better recognize that as the gravel parking lot in front of Jack Mason's. The thought process behind that was that they were on each end of our business district. While they were charging their vehicles, they could walk down the street, shop in our shops, get a sandwich or something to eat. The first EV charging station has arrived and has been installed. It's on the Town Hall parking lot. It is the first publicly accessible EV charging station in Allegheny Highlands. It is now fully operational, and by using your debit, credit, or charge point card, you can charge your vehicle in just 2 hours. But that's 2 hours that folks can spend in our downtown area. Our charge for this is 20 cents per kilowatt hour. And for those of you that are wondering, just like I was, a kilowatt hour is every 1,000 watts of energy used. My understanding is from the research that an average vehicle will cost somewhere between $11 and $15 to fully charge. I really didn't know if Clifton Forge would have a need for this, but it is a thing of the future. I can happily tell you that when we came here tonight, when we left Town Hall, when Mayor Irvin and I left Town Hall tonight, we had watched 2 cars plugged in and charging, and a third one backing in to be charged as we left. So it is being used, it is on the app, they know it's here, so hopefully that will generate some foot traffic and attention to our Clifton Forge area. Some of the more mundane things that we've been talking about, but I like to keep you informed on them, the waterline projects. Smith Creek Waterline Project, that project's been extended to October for a completion date. The West Ridgeway Street Waterline Project is, for all practical purposes, complete. They have one line to cut and cap next week right behind Scott Hill. Once that is completed, the project is over, except for the paving. The paving contractor that's doing the Ridgeway Street paving is also the contractor to complete Hammond Mitchell's paving for that. And he will be here in town until that is complete. And I'm sure you've noticed that the West Ridgeway Street paving project has finally started. And he will pave from the bridge where he started all the way to Roxbury Street, shoulder to shoulder. All new marking, all new manhole covers, leveled out to the gutter on each side. This is fully funded through a VDOT State of Good Repairs grant, and he will be here until that is completed. He has started at the bridge and is working east. We will keep everyone informed and notified in which particular blocks he will be working in for which week, so that you'll know that parking on the street is restricted during that time. While we're talking about the streets, you may have noticed our new lighted crosswalk marker signs. We had some complaints of people not having vehicles stop for them when they were using the crosswalks. We ordered 4 to try them to just see how they would be effective. They have been effective, and it has helped with the vehicle stopping for the pedestrians. So we've ordered 8 more, which will allow us to mark all of the crosswalks in downtown from both directions to call attention to those crosswalks and make crossing the street a little bit safer for everybody. One of the other projects that we've been talking about and working on, and this is one that Maria's been working quite a bit on, is the 600 block of Main Street. As you know, we were awarded a grant by the Allegheny Foundation to purchase some of those blighted buildings in that block with the purpose of getting them ready to sell and market to potential businesses or investors. One of those buildings has been sold to a business that's going to open in that building. The other building needed some stabilization work. New roof, cinder block and mortar repair, and a back wall to be replaced. Maria has been very successful in obtaining the grant funding to accomplish all of that work. We maintained ownership of that building because it affords us the opportunity to apply for more funding through Virginia Housing as long as the town maintains ownership of the property. The funding has been secured, a contract has been negotiated, and we expect that the work will start on that building in the next couple of weeks. And that will be a new roof, structure and roof, new back cinder block wall, and structural stability and realignment on the west wall of that building. So that'll be the first building on that block to start getting cleaned up. We're really excited about that. Some employee certifications that we've recently accomplished. At our water plant, we've had 2 of our employees at the water plant get certified that previously were trainees. Recently, Kevin Robertson, who was a trainee, obtained his Class 4 operator certification. Bill Biggs, who was also a trainee at the water treatment plant, has obtained his Class 2 operator certificate. That's a big accomplishment for him because he went from a trainee all the way to a Class 2 operator. Our plant is a Class 2 plant. He is now certified and able to run that plant, if need be, alone. So as far as operators at our water treatment plant, we have 5 employees up there. We have 2 Class 1 operators, 2 Class 2 operators, and 1 Class 4 operator who is working to move up his certification to at least a Class 2. We have highly qualified people running our water treatment plant, providing the best quality of water that they possibly can to the Allegheny Highlands. Brad Balzer, who was here with me last month, has completed his first certification class and is now a certified property maintenance official. He has been officially appointed into that position for the town of Clifton Forge through the state of Virginia. This is a new position for the town to have, and he has given me a brief explanation of what his new role is once he's certified. The role of the property maintenance official is to ensure that the minimum maintenance standards are met for the property. This includes overseeing the maintenance of equipment and systems such as lighting, HVAC, sanitation, and fire safety. The official is also responsible for enforcing the code, ensuring compliance, and maintaining the property's safety and efficiency. They also have the authority to make decisions regarding the maintenance of the property and may have the right to make changes to the property's condition as necessary. And what this does is it gives him the authority to invoke the state maintenance code, which directly addresses the condition of the paint and appearance of the outside of a building. The property maintenance official is allowed to do inspections of rental property to ensure the safety and health of the tenants is being maintained. and to hold property owners responsible for property maintenance issues. He also inspects elevators and/or reports to ensure that they are in proper working order. The PMO also has the authority to placard, which means to put a sign on or barricade structures as unsafe, and require the homeowners or property owners to make proper corrections or bring the structure into compliance. So by him attaining this certification, it gives him a lot more authority to actually enforce the codes both on the local level and through the state building maintenance code. I congratulate him on that achievement. A few things that Maria is working on that I asked her if I could share with you. Some of these Gail has already touched on. She's working on a housing study specifically for the town of Clifton Forge. She's working with a consultant. They have an informational gathering planned for sometime in October. She's also working on the branding effort that Gail mentioned. They have a kickoff meeting scheduled for September the 9th, 5:30 to 6:30, which is just right before the town council meeting. The kickoff session will be held here at the theater upstairs in the West Rock room. Then everyone will be asked to move to the town hall for the council meeting, which starts at 7 o'clock. She's also working on the strategic plan. We have a comprehensive plan which was revised last year, and one of the things that came out of that discussion with the Planning Commission was we all agreed that that was a good start, but we needed a strategic plan to help us be able to put those practices and suggestions in motion to make them happen. She's working with Brian Hill and the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission in partnership. They have selected a focus group that will have their first meeting on September the 3rd, again here at the theater. And that will be kind of the, I guess, the steering committee or focus group that you will bring your ideas back to council for. Maria, is that the purpose? Or?
Yeah, it will be integrated into the strategic plan.
Yeah, okay, into the strategic plan. And then lastly tonight, we got a pretty big Fridays in the Forge coming up next week. August the 29th, it will really be our last official Fridays in the Forge for the summer, because in September we have a summer, end of summer, early fall wrestling match on the town hall parking lot, like we had on Main Street, or Ridgeway Street last year. More to come on that. But for next Friday night, we have bluegrass music. A band called Grassroots Union is coming to perform. We have a car show from Cars Unlimited is scheduled to be here. They will be on display on Ridgeway Street in front of some of the shops. And we also have Shriner's Donut Trailer. That's always a big drawing card. They'll be set up in their usual spot where they set up for the Fall Festival down across the street from Jack Mason's. So come on out, have a good time, get some donuts, look at some really nice cars, and enjoy the evening. So tonight, it is really a privilege for me to get to introduce our guest speaker. She's really been an advocate to help Clifton Forge. And the first time I talked with her, she immediately said, well, I just need to come to Clifton Forge and spend some time. And she came over, we spent some time, we rode all over town. I showed her all of the places, and a lot of the places that needed help, the nicer places. And during that time, she shared with me the idea of the bad building inventory that we've been talking about. And since that time, we've implemented that process. And we've had one full day of inventory. She was back in town today working on completing some of that inventory and working on a second day. And she's here tonight to tell you a bit about the process, what it means for the town, and how we're going to move forward. Karen Weber is with the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality, Brownfields Coordinator. Her topic is small town revitalization, planning for successful brownfield redevelopment. She joined the DEQ Voluntary Remediation Program in April of 2022 and transitioned to Brownfields Coordination in November of 2022. Prior to the DEQ, she worked in environmental and engineering consulting for 19 years. She has a Bachelor of Science in Geoscience and an MA in Education from Virginia Tech. She's a licensed geologist in Virginia and has extensive experience in soil, groundwater, and vapor monitoring as it relates to site investigation and risk assessments. Karen prides herself on being an ambassador through community engagement that supports and promotes site assessment and redevelopment of brownfield sites through the state, and has worked closely with stakeholders on dozens of brownfield sites funded through grants from the EPA and the VDEQ. The town of Clifton Forge has been participating in the Bad Housing Inventory Program, announced during July's community gathering, for several months. It has started as a statewide initiative in West Virginia to provide technical assistance and site analysis tools to enhance abandoned and dilapidated buildings and communities. Virginia's DEQ and West Virginia's program work in conjunction with staff and students from West Virginia University to analyze and compile the data that we receive or take from these buildings that we visited, and then they will send us a series of reports, prioritization processes for these properties, and they will be back in the fall, a little later in the fall, to do a community information about what we have learned.